What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Slave Assassin 11 here, and today I'm bringing you guys a little bit of a live commentary, letting you guys know what my current build for PvP is and the reason behind using all these items. Now, as you can see, I am a gunslinger, and now the reason for this is I do have some Blade Dancer built up behind the Gunslinger. However, I do enjoy the Gunslinger more because of the fact that when you get in using Blade Dancer, you kind of get into situations where you may not be able to get to an enemy, or they can actually counter you with a lot of their supers, or they can even counter you with things like shotguns and sniper rifles. And it takes a second to acquire that kill. You have to go, you have to travel to get that kill. So with the Gunslinger, you're able to get almost 3 guaranteed kills until I get the helmet that I want that gives you the 4 shot, which you can get 4 almost guaranteed kills. So it's to me, it was a non-decision because I play a lot of Trials of Osiris and I play a lot of Elimination, and with those 2 game modes, I mean, I can single-handedly end a whole round just by using my super instantly. Now, of course, Blade Dancers can do that as well, but they have to get lucky enough to kind of have everybody in the same generic area without being, you know, focused with fire. So with mine, it allows me to get my kills, even if I can just get 2 kills or even just 1 kill. It's a guaranteed kill. It happens in the blink of an eye, and I acquire the kill, and I'm good to go. So that's the reason I chose Gunslinger over Blade Dancer. Now, I do have some Blade Dancer backup, like I'm working on the progression as you can see, and I do have a chest piece that's for a Blade Dancer, but I'll make all that make sense later. So, as for my weapons, as you can see, I currently have 3 exotics. I have the Thorn, ew, and I have the Red Death, and I have the Hard Light, ew. Now, however, the Hard Light may be getting much better whenever the buff comes out, and the Thorn itself may be better for me whenever I can get the lingering dots over time type of thing going on. But as of right now, I currently like to use the Red Death, and the reason before that is because every time I kill somebody, it heals me, and it speeds up the reloads, and honestly, that has countered Thorn so many times for me that I love it, and Thorn right now is just way, way too much. So with that ability to kill somebody, and them get me real close to death, but then my health will actually heal me up past their dots, so their dots don't kill me. That's a really, really good touch. I feel like I really need to use this all the time currently until maybe the Thorn is nerfed or hand cannons themselves are nerfed in the next, whenever that Taken King maybe comes out is when they're going to fix that. I'm not sure when they're going to actually fix all those nerfs and buffs for the auto rifles and stuff. As well as the auto rifle might be getting a little bit better whenever I get to the point where they actually nerf or buff the things and give me a little bit more of a, you know, give me some more beef behind that mate. So I'm currently running a Party Crasher +1. This was due to playing Trials of Osiris and Elimination, and that's because it simply gives me the aiming down sights gives you more effective range, and I feel like that's really, really essential with shotguns until they nerf them, and then maybe I'll switch to something else. The sniper that I use with this class is Her Benevolence. I think that's one of my favorites. I also am using the Wastelander V2V. Now, the reason I like this legendary rocket launcher is because, as you can tell, it has 2 shells in its magazine. However, I can also track people with these shells, which is really good, and reloading this weapon has a chance to grant a larger than normal magazine. That means that when I reload it, I could possibly get 3 rockets inside just 1 tube. So I think that makes it pretty sweet. I think it makes it pretty useful. You could go ahead and end a round if you got lucky enough to get like the 4 rockets that some people get. I always just get 2 rockets whenever I get heavy ammo, so it doesn't really matter in that sense, but at least I can shoot 2 right at the start, no reload involved. Now, the helmet I am using is the Dead Light cover. Now, I got this from a drop. I don't think you can buy this from Dead Orbit like this because it has Intellect and Discipline, and I'm pretty sure he sells Discipline and Strength. So I got this in a drop, and I really like it, obviously, because of the fact that it has the Intellect, and it was the helmet that I was going for anyways. I'm already ranked 2 with Dead Orbit, so this was the helmet I was going for anyways. As you can see, it's got 67 Intellect, 67 Discipline. It's got increased melee attack speed, which is pretty nice for when you want to like double melee somebody. And you replenish health when you pick up an orb, which is really cool. So if someone, you know, supers and I run up on them, whether it be in PvE or PvP, I can run up on them and go ahead and acquire those orbs and heal up from that. I'm also running the Iron Breed sleeves, which is what you got from the Iron Banner. It has 42 light, obviously. All these are going to have 42 light, so I suppose I'm not even going to mention that. 59 intellect, 53 discipline, increased reload speed with auto rifles, which isn't so good now, but it could be good whenever they get buffed. And melee hits replenish grenade energy. So as you can tell, I had the faster melee hits up here. So now when I double hit people, I have a possibility of maybe even refilling my grenade meter, which I really think is really helpful. Now, I'm going to save this for last. I'm going to go back down to the boots here. Sanction 6 boots. These give you 82 intellect, sorry, 81 discipline, and you can carry more ammo for auto rifles. So once again, that's another auto rifle buff. Hopefully the auto rifles, whenever they do get buffed, they become really viable so that all this auto rifle gear becomes really good. So now a lot of people wonder why, you know, as a hunter gunslinger, why would I be running the crest of the Alpha Lupi? I'm not really sure how to say that one. And there is a reason behind this. Now, I do like the perks. They do work for me slightly, and they also work for my backup plan. So I have the ability to revive teammates faster. This comes with 158 strength, which is, if anybody's a gunslinger, you know we do not really like strength because it's a throwing knife and it's not that viable compared to, you know, the blink melee that gunslinger or that blade dancers get, or even some of the other characters that their little abilities they get for strength are much better than the gunslinger strength. And for me, at least, I'm not a big fan of the throwing knives. I do use them, but I'm not a big fan of them as much as, you know, some other people may be with like the shoulder charge or dumb things like that. So with that being said, though, I can revive teammates faster, and I spawn more orbs when I super. Now, I think that's really essential for whether it be PvE and I got to make a clutch save, whether it be PvP, and, you know, my teammate gets killed and I have to hurry up and pick somebody up so that I have a little backup before I go into the fight. It's really essential, and I do pick up people. There's been plenty of times that I have, even on footage you guys may see later, in which I actually get, you know, I'm getting shot at and I slide over behind a little wall or something, just enough time to pick up my teammate before they run up and kill me. And without this type of equipment, that would not have happened. As well as I spawn more orbs. So every time I kill somebody, I think it spawns 2 orbs instead of just 1 orb. So you can spawn tons of orbs by using this piece of gear. And as well as you can see, it carries more ammo for special weapons, which is awesome for your shotguns or sniper rifles. And you carry more ammo for hand cannons. Now, the reason that I really liked that was because I thought I was going to enjoy the Thor, but I do not enjoy the Thorn at all. I really actually despise that gun. It just seems like it kicks so much and it shoots so slow that I can't get it to work like everybody else can. So I stay away from it. But it is cool for that reason, so that if I did use the Thorn, obviously there's a specialty that. Now, the reason I do this, and I run this Blade Dancer part over a Gunslinger part, is simply because, one, I don't have the Gunslinger helmet yet. Whenever I get the Gunslinger helmet, the exotic that gives you a 4th shot, I will switch to the Iron Banner chest instead of using this chest. However, for the moment, this is my best bet because I enjoyed the only helmet that I have that's exotic for a hunter is the one that when you aim down sights, it lets you zoom in on people. And I'm not a big fan of that zoom feature. I don't like to lose my peripherals. I'm so used to using the golden gun in normal view that when I play with that and it zooms in, it kind of just messes me up. So I like to have this one as a backup because I do use Blade Dancer in certain situations. If we have like 3 gunslingers in the lobby, I'll usually switch to Blade Dancer. And I like Blade Dancer more for PvE. Obviously, you can get a lot of kills with it instead of just shooting 3 times. I do have the helmet, though, that gives you the 1 single gunslinger shot for 6-time damage. It's like the one that makes you look like a bird face. Oh, I wish I remember the name. I'm not good with all the names in this game. There's too many of them. But I do have that one, but it's not leveled up yet, so I'm not going to use that in PvE yet. So currently, I just kind of switch over to the Blade Dancer, and it just makes it much easier to just run around the map. Even with the bird helmet, you just get 1 shot, which is good for, you know, slaying 1 person. But it's not that generally that good for, you know, slaying a ton of people, I suppose. When Blade Dancer, you can just run around and zink, 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 zink over and over and over. And then obviously for my cloak, I'm just using the Mantle of Perun, and it's just kind of the Iron Banner that you got from the last Iron Banner cloak, you know. And I guess I'll show you everything else. I have the Frontier Shell, I have the S20 Nomad, I have the Birth of History, and I'm using the Million shader, which is what you also got from the Iron Banner. Kind of makes my whole gold flow match perfectly, and the Firm Decree badge. So I hope you guys kind of figured something out today of why I run these classes. Some people were asking me why I run the Blade Dancer helmet on a Gunslinger class. That's simply the reason why. I simply enjoy the ability to respawn teammates, spawn more orbs, and I carry more ammo, and I do have a little bit more strength. As you can tell, my character is pretty balanced. I don't have anything maxed out, but I have everything over 50%, which makes me happy that I'm not, you know, I don't have the ability to like super every 30 seconds, but I'm not going to get a grenade for a minute, which that's obviously not possible. But you know what I'm saying, like just to show you an example of an over dramatic effect. I always have enjoyed in almost any PvP game that I've ever played a balanced character. I'm not a big fan of going crazy. So as in the Gunslinger thing, I'll show you my little setup here. You guys can go through. I'm not going to read all these. You guys can go through and set them up this way if you like, or you can set them up any way you want. This is just the way that I prefer. That, you know, like a lot of people, for instance, use the grenade. They like to use this trip mine grenade. I'm not a big fan of it. I enjoy the incendiary so that I can, you know, do dots over time, throw it, blows them up, and I can watch them as they run around the corner. I can see the numbers popping up and running down the hallway, so I know exactly where they're going to be. And to me, that just seems like it's an extra part of the radar. Super helpful. Really enjoy it. So yeah, that's all I have for today. That's the reason I run everything this way. That's the reason that I run the Blade Dancer chest on a gunslinger class. To some people it may seem goofy. To me it works. I enjoy it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Hope you guys can stop by next time. Make sure you check out the last episode that I put up, which was the Guardian Academy episode 1. And as always, make sure you guys click on the Jedi at the end of the video and he will take you to the previous video so that you can see what you missed. Thank you and have a good day.